Okay, folks, we'll go with 3 or 4 big news stories from over the last 2 or 3 days. We'll start first with the biggest TV story. We'll do a bit to do with Strictly Come Dancing. We'll also touch on Prince Andrew. Brainy fella, that one, isn't it? We'll also look at PaulaAbdul and Nigel Lythgoe. Many of you might not be familiar with that story, but it's one worth listening to. And who else? There's one more I was going to look at. The Archbishop of York. Right, we'll go with Strictly Come Dancing first. I'll tell you what it is. I thought it was strange, really. I mean, it's not something that I watch. I know a lot about it. I used to love Len Goodman. I don't mind your main judge in it. Now, well, he's not your main judge, but he's your best judge. The guy on the left there. Know his name well, and it's just not coming to mind. But it will do. You know who I'm talking about, folks. I just like straight talkers, and he's one of those. Straight talker, I don't mean he's one of those. He's one of those as well, but he's a straight talker at the same time. I like that about him. But the wife follows it religiously. She loves it. And I've took an interest these last few weeks only because of the sporting angle, the betting angle. I've seen something on a channel about one of the country's more well-known gamblers. And he had money on, is it Chris Causland? I think it is the chap that finally won it. He said he's nailed on. He can't get beat. He absolutely can't get beat. He said, I'm on him, he said, because of what I've heard and what I've read. I've not got big prices, but the prices look massive now because he's 1-4 or 1-5. I've got him anything from even money to about 2-1, I think he was saying. He said, but he just can't lose. He said, you read things in the paper all the time, you listen on the TV, and the judges are saying, nobody in the history of Strictly, nobody on this side of the pond, or the other side where they do the Dancing with the Stars, has created as much column inches and as Chris has. Nobody asks about a dancer as much as they do about Chris. Everybody's into him. Everybody's into it. And the gambler was saying he just can't lose. He really can't lose. No matter what happens, he can't lose. And I thought, surely that can't be the case. So over the last few weeks I've been saying to her indoors, is he really that good? She said, well, he's not bad. He's not the best there. There's a couple better than him. Craig Revolver, by the way. I knew it'd come to mind. My mind's crap. She said, yeah, but he's not bad. You know, he's a nice fellow, and obviously because he's blind and he's dancing and whatever, it's a tremendous achievement. He's doing really well. She said he probably will win it, but I'm not so sure he deserves to. Other than the fact that he's dancing with that, the thing of being blind, which obviously isn't in his interest. It's, everyone else has got an advantage over him there. But as the weeks have gone on, I've asked her every week, and she said, well, he's a good week this week, he's had a bad week this week, but there's a couple there that are better than him. And they went into the final over the weekend, and I didn't see any of it as such, really, but I thought, well, the others have got no chance. The others must be thinking to themselves, well, we're turning up. We're turning up for something that's just inevitable. We've got no chance of winning. And for all it's only a TV dancing contest, there is a lot of kudos to winning, and I think everybody as they get to the last 3 and last 4 really, really, really wants to win. And I thought the win must be taking out the sales really this weekend, more so than any other time in Strictly, because there's probably never been a favourite like this. I mean, I noticed the other week it was about 1-3 or 1-4 to win, but I noticed last week in the betting, for those that are familiar with betting, he was something like 1-3, 1-4, 1-5. The next best in the betting was 14-1, followed by 16-1, followed by about 33-1. And I'm thinking, in a 4-horse race, you never get the second favourite at 14 or 16-1. It's just unbelievable. So the bookies were saying there's no chance he's going to lose whatsoever. None at all. And so was the case. He won it. And I thought to myself, is that right, though? Is it right that he wins not being the best dancer in the competition? For all he's blind, and for all it's brilliant doing what he's done, because it is. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. It's great. Is it right that he wins when there's others better than him? And I noticed over the weekend, as the leaderboard goes, when the judges vote, he was 4th out of 4 on the leaderboard. He was last. So he's come last over is it 3 dances they do on the Saturday? I think it is. Yeah, he's picked up the old glitter ball, and I thought, I'm not so sure that's right, really. I'm really not so sure that's right. For all, as I say, he's dancing with is it an impairment? Is it impediment? For all he's doing that, and as I say, it's amazing. I don't know. I'm not so sure it's right at all, really. But maybe that's just me. That's my thoughts on the weekend there. The people that had money, I won't be thinking that. They'll be absolutely over the moon. And I mean over the moon. Neil Channing was the gambler, by the way. He's well chuffed. He's well good for you, Bob, would imagine. PaulaAbdul, you may remember her. She was a singer, dancer, choreographer from years ago. She's played a big part on American Idol and some other shows over there. I think she's also done Dancing with the Stars. She's done a lot with Nigel Lythgoe. He was originally from the Wirral, I think, not a million miles from where I live. He's done very well, what with the pop idols and the X Factors and whatever else. He then went over the pond. I think he produced American Idol. He's a big wheel over there now, doing very well for himself. She accused Nigel, I think it was earlier this year or late last year, of some sexual misconduct. She said that he, how did she put it? Well, I don't know how she put it, but he sexually abused her on 2 different occasions. She thought she needed to bring it out into the open forum, although it happened 20 odd years ago, I believe. And she accused him, and she decided she wanted to press charges. It was going to go to court, and it was on its way to court. And as you know, they've each talked about it over the last 6 months. It turns out back end of last week they came to a settlement. He's paid her off. She's claiming a victory, saying she's glad it's all over. She's been vindicated. He's paid her a sizable chunk of money. It's all undisclosed, this, you know, they're not letting you know what's been paid. He's saying he's over the moon that it's over. The problem is with something like this, for all he's not guilty, he maintains he's not guilty, with something like this, people assume when you've got something hanging over you that you are, and with something like this it takes forever to get to court, and then when it gets to court it takes forever to get it tried. He said he doesn't want this hanging over his head for God knows how long, so he would rather pay it off to get rid of it. He's also claiming a victory. Now they can't both be right, but they're both saying they're happy. That's what I heard initially a couple of days ago. I heard last night, I think, that lawyers for her, although they're not allowed to say what the settlement is, are saying it's in the millions rather than the thousands. So God only knows what he's paid her. I'm of the opinion that if he's done nothing wrong, you don't pay somebody off. But what he's done is he's took the Prince Andrew route. Talking of Prince Andrew, what's he been accused of this time? He's got very, very friendly with the Chinese person, and the Chinese person is supposed to be a spy. Nothing surprising there. At this moment in time, they're infiltrating every powerful country in the world, and ours is one of them. And it's not hard to get in Andrew's inner circle. All you've got to do is offer 30 pieces of silver, and he's got his hand open. Absolutely no problem. If you can offer him 60, he's got both hands open. Don't worry about that. He likes a freebie, wherever they can get it from. If you can pay him, he's your pal. Do not worry. Anyway, the upshot of it is, I think old Charlie Boy, that's King Charles to you and me. I shouldn't be Charlie Boying him. They're saying that the word on the grapevine is he's been asked to make himself scarce over Christmas time. The royal family get together over Christmas time. I don't think they want to see him. Problem is with Andrew, he's never took the hint in the past. I can see him turning up and making a mockery of the whole thing. I think they're all jittery at the moment. They don't really want to be associated to him. Difficult when he's a brother of the king, isn't it? But yeah, the man's a fool. I'm pretty sure about that. And then talking of fools, the Archbishop of York. We've got the Duke of York. Now we're going to the Archbishop, as is now. What's his name? Stephen Cotterill. I think it's Stephen Cotterill. He's taken over from the Big Cheese, the guy that was the main one in the Church of England, because he's been a naughty boy. He's losing his position, I think, in January. Stephen Cotterill's supposed to be taking over, at least temporarily. And now accusations are being made against Stephen Cotterill. Seemingly he's had a vicar, priest, whatever it may be in there, called David Tudor, who has abused some young parishioners. I think it was girls. It's usually boys, but I think in this instance it was girls. I think there's reports of a couple of 13 to 15-year-old girls he's abused. The church had something against him where they wouldn't allow him to be on his own with children, but he was kept in the church. This Archbishop of York, Stephen Cotterill, knew a lot about it, but never did anything about it, never got rid of him, anything like that. I think I've also read that further down the line, after this sort of story went away a little, 10 years later, he got promoted. Was he made, is it canon or something? I'm not really into the Church of England, I don't really know, but I think he got a promotion. Anyway, in the last couple of months, he's now come out, what's his name again, David Tudor, and admitted the accusations are true. But folk are saying Stephen Cotterill should not be even looked at to run the Church of England with all the skeletons that are now coming out of his cupboard. He should have done something about this fella earlier. Mr. Cotterill himself, I looked today, I think he's 66 years of age. He's got a wife. He's also got 3 children. You've got to ask, would he have been happy with his 3 children to be left with David Tudor? You think not really. You don't think he'd be that comfortable with that. But he was happy enough for other children to be in his company. And he was happy enough to let him carry on practising his religion, his own form of religion, to his parishioners, knowing what a bad person he was. All a little bit seedy, a little bit dodgy. And that's the way the church is going at the moment. It was the Catholic Church for many a year. The Church of England have said, we want our turn at it, they've had a lot of naughty priests in there. We want to show that we can follow suit and do the same ourselves. And they're doing it in no uncertain terms at the moment. They really are. They're not exactly covering themselves in glory. So there's 3, is it 3 for you? PaulaAbdul, Archbishop of York, Strictly Come Dancing, and Prince Andrew. Chris Causland, is it? Yeah, the guy that won Strictly. I'm not painting him in any bad light compared to the 2 of those others and possibly 3 of those others, because we don't know with the Abdul or Lythgoe who's guilty there, although it doesn't look great for old Nigel. For all, I did something on him only a few months ago regarding PaulaAbdul stories and how they were changing as the months were going on. The stories were changing, so I don't know, it might be a 6 of one and a half dozen of the other. But I definitely wouldn't have been settling if I were him if I was innocent. Definitely not. Right, I'll leave that with you. And I'll speak to you later. Of course I will.